Come on in, my fellow creeps and creepers and creepy people and creepy peepers and creeple people, and hey, come on in to the Library of Horror Hotel for another Creepy Cheapies. I believe this is episode 6,016,237. I think that's right, of Creepy Cheapies. And today we're once again taking a look at one of the better masks of the period, one of the finest Halloween masks. This time it's one from way back in the year 2026. Those of you who are old enough to remember the year 2026 might remember that it was kind of a slow year for masks for the most part. Not that many masks came out, at least not as early in the season as normally, and it was kind of a slow year. But I'm happy to tell you one of the best masks, one of my favorite designs of 2026 was the, oh wait, that's the top of our Death Bay's hat. Sorry. Ow! One of my favorite designs of 2026 was this guy from Ghoulish Productions. No. Ghoulish Productions. No. Ghoulish Productions made this mask. All right. Where's my medieval weaponry? Where's my... there we go. That's more like it. Caption Zombie's going to be in trouble if he doesn't wake up and, pay a little more attention. I don't want him being asleep at the switch. He's already a creep at the switch, but look at this mask from Ghoulish Productions. This thing is the Creepy Voodoo Master. That's kind of a lot of letters to put out there, isn't it? The Creepy Voodoo Master. Now, I know what some of you guys are thinking, which is, creepy? Really? They had to put creepy in the title like we wouldn't have noticed he was... Well, I thought that seemed a little redundant to call him the Creepy Voodoo Master. Why not just Voodoo Master? So I contacted an agent with the Department of Redundancy Department, and I found out there's a good reason for that. Yeah, this is called the Creepy Voodoo Master so that people won't get him confused with any of his similar looking brothers. The Comforting Voodoo Master, the Reassuring Voodoo Master, and of course, the Heartwarming Cuddly Voodoo Master. Those guys, not creepy. So if you want to scare people on Halloween at the haunted house, or, you know, the costume party, or the haunted forest, or whatever it is you're doing for Halloween, you want the Creepy Voodoo Master. And, you know, I've always loved this idea. I don't know if you can call it a theme because it's so rare, but kind of a sub theme. The idea of the hat with the eye holes cut in it and then your eyes look through the hat. I've drawn a few characters like that myself over the years, come up with some characters like that, but it's very rare to see a mask with this kind of design. I think I've seen one other one, and I don't know if it was available. It might have just been something an artist made, you know, as a very limited run a while back. But this guy you can pick up for, no kidding, well, you can pick him up for free if you got him in the house, but you can buy one for around 60 bucks. What? 60 bucks. And this was back in 2026 dollars. And not only does he have this great sculpture and the eyes looking through the hat thing, he's got some hair, as you can see here, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about that because it's highly unusual not to have hair. Lots of masks have hair. Come to think of it, his hair looks a little like my hair. Okay, I'm not going to go there. He's got long, straggly black hair in the back, and it's really interesting how they did this because I've never seen it done this way before. I've never seen this before. The hair is, you will never be able to see this, will you? The hair is sewn in. I got some paper stuffed in there. The hair is sewn in, okay, to the fabric to keep it, to the latex, I mean, to keep it, you know, attached, keep you from pulling it out. But you might still pull the hair out ordinarily when you're wearing the mask and you pull it on or something. You might get clumsy and damage your hair. So what they have done is sort of paint a little line of latex all around the inside of where the hair goes, so that inside the mask you don't feel any hair, you can't touch any of the hair. It's just painted on latex added to the inside. which is a great idea. Kind of seems like something we would do here at Horror Hotel. You know, me and Laura. Seems like something we would do to make it a little more sturdy, a little more stable. And with regard to the hat, you may notice over the years, if you're a collector of these things, there have been a few hats sculpted onto masks, and masks with sculpted on hats always present problems, because whether it's a helmet or, well, any kind of rubber hat, there's always this problem. If it has a sort of brim, or even if it doesn't have a brim that sticks out, there's always that area up there, kind of between the edge of the hat or helmet and the head of the monster or character who is supposedly wearing it, and that always sort of sags and droops from the weight of latex, and it just never looks real. But Ghoulish has cleverly come up with a way around that, and this is another thing I haven't seen done before. Maybe other masks have done it, I haven't seen it. But when you sculpt something like this, okay, when it's in the clay, before it becomes a latex mask, you have to sculpt it in such a way that it'll come out of a mold, right? Which means the brim can't be a totally flat thing. If you can notice here, you would never be able to get that out of a mold without a lot of trouble, because there's lumpiness and irregularity and not quite undercuts, but something along those lines going on, and it would be hard to do. So the trouble is, people tend to sculpt hat brims instead of being flat like they should be. They tend to sculpt them spread out a little bit. Can you see that? Yeah. People tend to sculpt the hat brims like this a little bit, when really a hat brim is flat. But to get it out of a mold, you have to make it a little bit tapered. And what happens then is, once it's cast in latex, the weight of the bottom of the mask makes it droop, and it starts spreading out, and it doesn't look like a real hat because you can see too much of the underside of the brim. And nobody likes that, do they? No. So what Ghoulish has done is glue this together all the way around. Now I have good news and bad news. The good news is, gluing it together like that makes it really look like a hat brim, and sells it, and looks like he's wearing a hat. And it really works. I went tipping back there. I don't know if you can tell. He's got nostrils up in there because you can see just the bottom of where his nose would be. But the great thing is that from the front you get the full effect of this crazy laughing character with these big crazy teeth. The hat really looks realistic because they have gone all the way around here and glued this, I don't know, with latex or with contact cement or something, pressed it together so that it never does that saggy, droopy, separating thing. It stays looking like a hat. How great is that for Halloween? You don't have to worry about it. You throw it on and it looks like you are this guy with your hat pulled down over your eyes and eye holes cut in your hat, and it really works. The bad news is, while this is a wonderful Halloween costume and a wonderful haunted house prop sort of thing, it's not gonna keep for a million years in your mask collection. And the reason is, the worst thing you can do to latex, a mask of any kind, any of the latex, is to stress it. And by stress it, I don't mean tell it about all its unpaid debts or something, or you know, make it watch the news. I mean stress as in something that pulls or pushes the latex into any shape other than the shape in which it was sculpted and pulled from the mold. So this might not last as long as some masks, because the fact that you're squishing it together here is making it a little different from how it was pulled out of the mold, because it was like this, where it was pulled out of the mold in order to be moldable. But when they push it together, they maybe are shortening the shelf life of the mask, because see that, and that causes cracking and premature aging. You may know some people who have premature aging, but that's the downside. This thing might not last forever in your collection, but if you want it for Halloween, man, you can't go wrong. I don't know what this color looks like on your monitor either, but I want to point out that in the pictures I've seen online of this guy, his hat looks brown, and I assumed he was wearing a brown hat, but it's actually much more purple in person. And another thing you're going to want to remember about when you wear this, depending on how you put it on and the gluing and stuff, it's going to want to go up, so you might want to pull that down, because if it, yeah, That's just something you might want to keep in mind. The great thing is the hair really looks like it's the hair of the wearer. So if you don't have any hair at all, your character still does, and it still looks in character, and it's that much more of a disguise from what you look like. What would I wear with this guy as a costume? Did I mention there are little eye cuts right above those eyeballs? Well, it doesn't matter whether I did or not because there are. One thing I would do costume-wise, this guy I think has the swagger, has the strut. He's confident, he's full of himself. He thinks all the chicks want him. Yep. Because why? Because he knows every girl crazy about a sharp-dressed man. What? Oh, you thought it was every girl crazy about a sharp-toothed man? No, I'm pretty sure it's dressed. Yeah. But I would have him very elaborately costumed. I wouldn't just use a plain old monk robe or something. I would do a suit, but I would go for a look of corrupted elegance. Do you like that expression? I just made that up. You can use it and I won't charge you anything. Corrupted elegance. Do you like the sound of that? By which I mean he's wearing a suit that's kind of fancy. You know, a coat with big lapels and a vest or cummerbund waistcoat sort of stuff on there, and the stick pins and the cufflinks and the fancy. But all of it is a little bit weird. All of it is a little bit tattered and run down and maybe patched together, maybe with some sort of cord like is sculpted in the hat to make it look like his whole suit is sort of, you know, he thinks he still looks great, but what he's wearing is actually pretty aged and weather beaten like him. But I would go for something kind of fancy, but then add strange touches to it, like, you know, little bones on the lapels, or little bones on his neck piece, little skulls and snakes and creepy things that look voodoo-ish but look appropriate to his character. And I love this character design. You guys know I like monsters who enjoy their work, and this guy is clearly having fun. He looks like something I would have designed, really. But anyway, you know, ever heard the expression dressed to the nines? That means when you're like dressed up to impress people. I think I would have him dressed to the 13s. You know, that's like turning it up to 11. It's even more extreme because, yeah, I would play him like somebody who thinks he's all that. He's kind of overconfident and thinks of himself as the life of the party, and, you know, he could have any woman he pleases. Unfortunately, so far he hasn't pleased any. But that's the way the skull bounces. Anyway, the Creepy Voodoo Master can be yours for 60 or 65 bucks from those creeps at Ghoulish Productions. And I like this one a lot. I think this is one of the funner masks of 2026. No, that wasn't meant to be damning with faint praise. I know there haven't been that many great masks in 2026, but you're still a great one. So long, everybody. See you next week. What? Commercial? No. I hate interrupting videos with commercials. I don't like that. And well, I suppose you have a point there. It's not really interrupting since I was already signing off, is it? All right, if we must. Creepy Voodoo Master. We'll go to a commercial. Here now is the commercial from one of our many sponsors, courtesy of our old friend here, the CVM.
Tired of ordinary medicine? Visit CVM Pharmacy, where we put the care in scare. Whether you need something to cure your headache, heartburn, hiccups, or hangnails, or something that will give someone else a headache, heartburn, hiccups, or hangnails, CVM is here to help. Or harm. That's up to you, really, because we're always ready to help put the harm in pharmacy. We've got allergy remedies that will clear your sinuses. And maybe your family tree. We not only fill prescriptions, we fill prophecies. And don't forget our 2-for-1 special on Love Potion number 90.2 every Friday the 13th. That's all at CVM, your Creepy Voodoo Master Pharmacy, where we put the crypt in prescription. Side effects may include poltergeist irritation, hallucinatory chicken bones, and occasional out-of-money experiences. Consult your shaman. Not actual medicine. No hexes guaranteed. Please don't bring us cursed livestock. We accept most insurance, tarot readings, and shiny trinkets.